I'm not a lawyer, but let's get into day 4 of Florida versus Alicia Andrews. Now it's a lot, so get ready. The first witness of the day was a Tampa investigator who broke down how he figured out who owned the black Chevy Impala from the hotel video. He's apparently an investigator, but also a car enthusiast. So he says after reviewing the footage from the hotel, he had a general idea of the year the car was made. After doing some research and confirming the year, he then used the trim of the car, based off of the video, to figure out the model, an LS, LT, or LTZ. And that all led him to determining that the car was a 9th generation black Chevy Impala LTZ model.
I narrowed it down to an LTZ trim based on a GM emblem that is in the front quarter panel of the vehicle, which was only on 2008 and 2009. I also saw that it was the upgraded wheels on the LTZ, which is a different year than the 2007. It was a 2008 wheel because the spokes were a little bit wider. And then I noticed that it had potentially body color matching door handles from the video. Through the research of the LTZ, the 2008 and 2009, 2008 had body color, 2009 had chrome, so I nailed down my search to an 08 or 09 Chevrolet Impala.
After being told that it was believed the suspects were from Jacksonville, this Tampa investigator did a search of a website connected to the DMV, and he searched for 9th generation LTZ black Impalas registered in Duval County, which is the county for Jacksonville, and 3 results came up.
I inputted 2008, 2009 Chevrolet Impala with LTZ trim black, and then selected Duval County, which is overseas Jacksonville.
How many vehicles, black Chevy Impalas, did it become narrowed down to at that point?
3.
Investigators were able to further nail down which Impala they wanted from that list of 3 by searching to see if any of those 3 were caught on a Tampa license plate reader during the weekend of the shooting. And voila, they got a hit.
I provided my 3 vehicles to an analyst with homicide, who was Brittany Jackson. I told her these are the vehicles that I was able to populate and come up with, and then I was later told that there was a confirmation of the vehicle.
So that was basically the testimony of the first witness. The next witness to highlight was another officer, and he testified about the day Sean Gathright was arrested. If you recall, by the time Gathright was arrested, he had already left his black Impala at his grandmother's house and was driving around in a gold 4Runner, not Ford Runner. I saw y'all's comments. It was June 26th, so 3 days after the homicide, and after arresting Gathright, officers executed a search warrant on his car. They found Gathright's cell phone, which was taken into custody, and they also found a firearm and a number of bullets.
In between the passenger and driver seat center console?
Yes, ma'am.
48W, live rounds from inside of the bag?
Yes.
The day after Sean Gathright's arrest, officers executed a search warrant on his house, and there they found more weapons and more bullets.
And was the execution of that warrant, or the day that you showed up to process, on June 27th of 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pull these cases out to document them more clearly as you continued processing this scene?
Yes, ma'am.
Did that come from the same area?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you locate in your search of this closet Remington ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what you documented here?
Yes, ma'am.
Were there live rounds of ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Each of these green metal boxes, did they contain additional ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you find inside the smallest of the green boxes?
More live rounds of rifle ammunition.
And is that what's depicted in 55 and in?
Yes, ma'am. I don't recall if the mask was in the bedroom.
What are we looking at here that you're documenting?
Just the interior of the safe as it was.
Now, on cross-examination, Alicia's defense attorney asked the crime scene tech if any of the weapons that were found at Sean Gathright's house were connected to Alicia Andrews, and the response is, I don't know.
That's Sean Gathright's residence?
I don't know.
You don't know who lives there?
No idea.
Do you know how many people live there?
No idea.
Do you know how many bedrooms are in the house?
No.
For sure, that home that you searched, that's not Alicia Andrews' home, correct?
I don't know.
You don't know if it is?
I don't know.
Did you search Alicia Andrews' home?
I don't know who that is.
Now, something to keep in mind before we get into this next witness is that although this case happened in Tampa, Florida, everyone involved is from Jacksonville, Florida. So Tampa police had a lot of communication and a lot of help from Jacksonville police, particularly Jacksonville's gang unit. So this next witness was a Jacksonville gang detective, and he is specifically assigned to the gang ATK. So he's called to the witness stand to testify about his expertise on gangs and specifically ATK. He starts off answering a few questions, but then the defense requests to voir dire him. During the voir dire, he confirms that he has no personal knowledge of gangs, never studied gangs in any kind of criminal justice course, nor has he written or read any publications on gangs.
You've never written any sort of publication on gangs in general or specifically Jacksonville gangs?
I have not.
You're not even quite really sure what a publication is as it relates to your expertise. Is that accurate?
Like, yeah, what would you mean by publication? Like a book?
A book or some sort of article where you've done research and gathered information to teach other people about?
I would say that our field investigative reports and documenting gangs and gang members would be a publication as to I've written about gangs.
Well, I'm not asking what you write about in your investigations. I'm asking about scholarly things that have been published and peer-reviewed from other experts.
No, ma'am, I've never written a book or a news article or anything of that
Okay.
nature.
Prosecutors then do their own voir dire, and they show that the detective has completed some gang programs through his job, and those programs are nationally recognized. The prosecutor also highlights that the reason this detective hasn't written any publications about his job is because it could be used to inform potential suspects of the tactics detectives use.
Are these programs nationally recognized and presented at agencies across the nation?
Yes, ma'am.
As it relates to your specific publication or publicizing of the information that you collect in your day-to-day duties, do you or any members of your unit make it a regular practice to publicize or publish articles based on the tactics that you use to make arrests and develop cases of criminal gang members?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Would that be harmful to your case or investigation to do so?
Yes.
After that voir dire, direct examination continues, and the detective begins by explaining what ATK stands for.
Based on my training and experience, it stands for ACE's Top Killers. ACE would be the face or the head of ATK. He's a rapper named Young and Ace. Everybody seems to follow him where he's at. There's usually a bunch of people. He has the most followers on social media on his accounts, and he gets the most views on his videos on YouTube.
The detective says that ATK is associated with another gang called 1200, and together, ATK and 1200 both hate 6 Block and Julio Foolio. The detective then details some of the violence that has happened between the two groups over the years, beginning with the shooting that took place in 2018, where Young and Ace's brother, DaVon, as well as 2 others were killed and Young and Ace was injured.
Who is Quan or DaVon Bullard?
Quan and DaVon Bullard was a victim of a homicide in Jacksonville in 2018.
What about Royal Smith and Jacoby Grover?
Yes, ma'am, it was a triple homicide. They all were killed in the same incident. Young and Ace was the 4th victim in that case. He was shot as well. He did not die.
And then he goes into some of the members from 6 Block who have lost their life.
In referring specifically to the second photograph next to Mr. Jones, Bibby, is that an individual who is deceased?
Yes, he is.
When we see in the photo that is on the second row and second one in, so Tiki Williams, is that someone who you're familiar with?
Yes.
Are you familiar with whether his name has been referenced by 1200 and ATK members in drill raps?
It has.
And then he details other violence between the groups, including an incident from October of 2023 when Julio Foolio was shot but survived.
How was it that there was a homicide on the highway? What did you arrive to?
I arrived to a deceased black male, later identified as Jaquan Pickens, inside of a green Dodge Challenger that was crashed into the back of a semi. Based on the evidence that we discovered, a drive-by shooting occurred on the interstate where a car pulled up beside Mr. Pickens and started shooting at him.
After the homicide of Jaquan Pickens, did you respond to a call for service on August 17th?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that the day following the homicide of Jake Jitt or Jaquan Pickens?
It was. He was identified as Jacoby Beals. This is 1200.
Did you respond on October 6th to the homicide of Antonio Tilley?
I did. Antonio Tilley and an Uber driver was located deceased after they crashed into a house. Evidence in that case showed that a female named Diamond Harris set up Antonio Tilley by sending him provocative.
And while you were working that scene, did you receive additional information or a call for service elsewhere in the city?
I did, yes, ma'am.
Where?
It would have been in the city's side of town called Paxton. Charles Jones was shot in his foot.
Now, in addition to having this exchange of violence between these two groups, the groups also use music or drill rap to taunt and disrespect each other. One of the most popular videos released from this beef was from Young and Ace, and it's called Who I Smoke. And Julio Foolio responded to Who I Smoke with his own video, which is called When I See You. And both of these videos have millions of views.
Was there a video that was published by members of ATK and members of 1200 called Who I Smoke?
Yes, ma'am.
Approximately how many views, if you know, has that video received?
Last I believe it was around 50 million.
Video, could you please refer us to some of the lyrics for which you all took note as it relates to your duties in your gang unit?
The next one we see is Rod K dead and he never coming back. Rod K was a prominent figure of 6 Block.
And when you see the language smoking on, what does that mean?
When they say they're smoking on somebody, it's a sign of disrespect or a sign of like a diss towards the opposing gang. It's very similar to the meaning. Smoking on someone or smoking someone simply means that they were killed.
And who posted a video in response to that?
Charles Jones. The name of the video is When I See You.
And was there some specific reference as it relates to the date in which that Trayvon Bullard were killed?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a drive-by shooting at a red light. He went out to eat on his birthday. It was 23's birthday, and they were leaving Wasabi at the town center. And then 4 shot, 3 dead. That's the facts of the case. Was there's 4 of them shot. Young and Ace survived. The other 3 passed away.
In case you didn't follow that, one of the men killed in the 2018 triple homicide was a man they called 23. And the day he and the others were killed was actually 23's birthday. They were out celebrating at a restaurant, and when they left, there was a drive-by. 3 of the men died, and Young and Ace lived. So in these lyrics, when Julio Foolio says, went out to eat on his birthday, 4 shot, 3 dead in the worst way, the gang detective says that's clearly about this situation. And the detective says the videos did not stop there. Young and Ace released a video called Game Over shortly after Julio Foolio's death, and then members of 1200, who again also hated 6 Block, released a song called Foolio Dead. It's so direct.
Specifically as it relates to a music video by the title of Game Over, who was the music artist that made that video?
Young and Ace.
And when, in relation to Charles Jones's murder, was that video published to YouTube?
I'm not sure the exact time, but a couple weeks. I don't know the exact date. It was a couple weeks after.
Was there a specific reference to the homicide that occurred in Tampa on June 23rd of 2024 in the death of Charles Jones?
Yes, there was.
And was there an additional video posted by 1200 members?
There was, and once again, I don't know the exact date of that one either, but it was weeks, a month after.
What was the video titled from the 1200 members?
Foolio Dead.
When there's a reference to his mother stronger than him in these lyrics, can you describe for us what these lyrics are highlighted for?
Yes, ma'am. His mother was shot in Jacksonville prior to his death, and she survived.
On cross-examination, Alicia's attorney attempts to make the point that the violence between these 2 groups was being reported on the news and was therefore common knowledge for people in the area. And just to connect it for you, the point the attorney is trying to make is that Alicia didn't have any specialized knowledge about any of this. She just knew the stuff that most people knew. But the detective disagrees.
You'd agree with me that the fact that 1200 and ATK or 1200 and 6 Block have a beef is common knowledge?
It would depend on your definition of common knowledge. I would say that like a normal citizen of Duval County may not know about this, but if you live in the neighborhood, it's pretty common knowledge to people who live in that neighborhood or into these type of wars and gangs.
Okay, so let me take it a step back. You're saying that people in Jacksonville don't have knowledge of this?
I would venture to say that there is people in Jacksonville who do not have knowledge of this, yes.
These are things that are posted on the normal news, right?
Some of them, yes.
Okay. These videos have millions of views.
Yes.
Does that refresh your...
It says 30 million views, and the video was posted 4 years ago.
Okay, so this is related to When I See You.
Yes, ma'am. It says 69 million views, 57 million views. That one has 20 million. That one's going to be 7.4 million.
But it's your position that just normal people in Jacksonville probably don't know about this?
Yes.
Okay.
The attorney then moves on to the October 2023 incident when Julio was shot in the foot. And she asked the detective if there is any indication that Alicia was involved in that incident.
Evidence to suggest that she knew about that shooting?
I do not.
That she was on the scene of that shooting?
I do not.
You don't have any evidence to suggest that she was aware or knew any of the people that you suspect were involved in that shooting at the time?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay.
Next up, Alicia's attorney brings up Aaliyah Albritton. And if you recall, Aaliyah is the woman who previously dated Young and Ace's brother, Trayvon Bulliard, and was actually his girlfriend when he passed, and was with Julio Foolio the night he passed.
Do you know a woman by the name of Aaliyah Albright?
I know of her. I don't know much about her.
So you would recall that Miss Albright gets out of a vehicle and then goes inside of the hotel lobby, immediately proceeding. I see you're looking at the state. Did you?
No, just look around.
Oh, okay. She proceeded inside of the hotel lobby immediately before the shooting happened, right? Were you aware that Miss Albright, that she was dating Mr. Trayvon Bullard, aka Quan, at the time of his death in 2018?
I'm aware of them dating. I didn't know about the time of his death. I'm not sure about that answer.
And in your assistance in this investigation, is that a lead or an investigative tool that you ever use? Did you ever investigate Ms. Albright related to any connection to this murder?
Me, I did not. I was not in charge of investigating this homicide.
Alicia's attorney wraps up the cross-examination by asking the detective how much interaction he's had with Alicia during the course of his gang detective work.
Outside of the allegations in this case, you've never investigated Alicia Andrews in connection with any crime connected to ATK?
No, ma'am.
You've never investigated her in connection to any crime connected to 1200?
No, ma'am.
In connection to 6 Block?
No, ma'am.
In connection to, I guess, what would be considered Out East?
No, ma'am.
And in connection to any other gang in Jacksonville?
No, ma'am.
Her name has never come up as a person of interest in relation to any of these gangs or the crimes that are connected to these gangs?
Other than this one, no.
You've never discovered any motive for Alicia Andrews to want Julio Foolio to die?
No, ma'am.
Other than Alicia Andrews being the girlfriend of Isaiah Chance, you don't have any evidence to suggest that she's somehow connected to gang activity at all?
No, ma'am.
No further questions.
The prosecutor gets up to do some redirect, and she highlights that based on the phone extraction of Alicia Andrews' phone, Alicia did have communications with people who have been identified as members of gangs connected to this case.
Whose device?
Was there evidence in Miss Andrews' phone of her communications with ATK Keese and direct messaging in the Instagram?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there screenshots of those communications between this defendant and ATK Keese in that device?
Yes, ma'am.
How about screenshots of messages from that extraction between this defendant and 6 Block member Kay Shorty?
Yes, there was.
You were asked whether Alicia Andrews has any relationship to the attempted murder case that happened in 2023 of Charles Jones.
Yes, ma'am, I was asked.
I understand it's an unusual question to ask you about who you suspected may have committed those offenses, but based on the questions you were asked by the defense, did you develop a suspect in the attempted murder of Charles Jones from October 2023?
Yes.
Do those persons have a specific relationship to this defendant, Alicia Andrews?
Yes.
Are they her co-defendants?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
The next witness was another gang detective, and he's assigned to the gang 1200. He testified that Rashad Murphy has been identified as a member of 1200, while DaVon Murphy, who is Rashad's cousin, is only considered to be a person of interest. But he notes that DaVon was throwing up gang signs while he was waiting in the interrogation room, and he has multiple tattoos that do connect him to 1200.
He's a person of interest, not exactly a member just yet of 1200. So his right hand, he's holding up the 1200 hand sign. So the single finger showing the 1 and then the 2 over here to represent 12.
Was this screenshot actually taken from the interview room after Mr. Murphy's arrest?
Yes, ma'am. It says rest up Avery McKnight.
Are you familiar with an individual that went by the moniker of Suge?
Yes, ma'am.
And was Suge a name that is regularly utilized or mentioned by 1200 members?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It says long live Joe Rod.
Is that the same Joe Rod Adams that was killed at the Rains High School football game?
Yes, ma'am.
On cross, this gang detective confirms that Alicia Andrews is not known to him in any of his gang work.
Alicia Andrews, she's not a gang member, correct?
No, sir, not that I know of.
She's not a gang associate either?
Not that I'm aware of.
You know Alicia Andrews to be in any music videos?
I've never seen her in one, no, sir.
And did you know of Alicia Andrews prior to this case?
No, sir.
But you knew of these other individuals in 1200 prior to this case, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Now, the last witness of the day was another Jacksonville gang detective, and while he isn't assigned to any of the gangs in this case, he did testify that he had already been keeping tabs on Julio Foolio prior to his murder, and this detective ended up being one of the main points of contact for Tampa police as they investigated this case.
Yes, I routinely would monitor Julio Foolio's Instagram account prior to this.
Even though he was not one of your assigned gang members, you would be monitoring his account?
Yes. I think it's imperative for detectives assigned to the gang unit to have information and knowledge about gangs, especially a person as prominent as Julio Foolio was. Even though I'm not assigned the 6-block gang, it is important to have working knowledge outside of my assigned gang, so I am able to assist in the event that I was called upon, for example, this instance. So,
a few weeks before Julio Foolio's death, the detective said he came across a Twitter Spaces where Julio Foolio and Isaiah Chance were having words. The detective screen recorded this exchange, and once this murder happened, he shared what he had with Tampa police.
during the conversation I was having in the first day that they were reaching out to us, I did share with that detective that I had screen recorded a conversation that Julio Foolio was having approximately 2 weeks prior with another person named Isaiah Chance on Spaces, which is formerly known as Twitter. It's an open chat room where people can enter and speak to each other.
And would that have been on June 6th of 2024?
Yes, it would have.
Without telling me the contents of it, were you ultimately made aware of a communication between Sean Gathright and Rashad Murphy on the same date regarding the Spaces conversation?
I was made aware of that, yes.
They never end up playing the screen recording in this trial, but I imagine they're probably going to play it in Isaiah's trial. Next, the detective testifies about his review of potential evidence that came from Alicia's phone. He says he came across some photos that he thought were worth flagging, starting with a screenshot that seemed to have been taken from Julio Foolio's Instagram.
At the top in the middle, you have the teasers flyer that he had posted. If you go one post below that, so directly in the middle, it's a image of his face. That's an Instagram reel he posted.
And this is the device that was identified to the defendant, Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Were these images accurately retrieved, the items on the left from Mr. Jones's Instagram and the item on the right from Ms. Andrews' phone?
Yes.
And who is the individual depicted to the left?
That is a gentleman named Xavier Harrison. He is a ATK gang member who goes by the nickname Fat Zay.
And who is the individual, if you know, identified to the right?
That is a gentleman named Torgon Williams, and he is also an ATK gang member, and he goes by the nickname ATK Red Dot. The gentleman on the left is a guy named Gerard Adams. He goes by the nickname Spaz, and he is associated with the 1200 group gang. Spaz he's deceased now. He was murdered, I believe, back in 2018. But he is related to Rashad Murphy and DaVon Murphy.
Now, before I tell you about the cross-examination, you need some context. So on June 26, which again was 3 days after the incident, Alicia apparently got herself a new phone. But everything from her iCloud was downloaded onto this new phone on June 26. The prosecutors, of course, say that getting a new phone is nefarious and very suspicious, while the defense argues if Alicia was trying to hide something, it wouldn't have made sense for her to download everything from her iCloud onto this new phone. So, on cross-examination of this witness, Alicia's attorney starts off highlighting that it's unclear when the pictures on Alicia's phone were taken because they all have the June 26 date.
That thumbnail was created on June 26th?
Sure. The best way to describe this is that this is, from what we know, because the device was activated on June 26th, it appeared that the user of this cell phone device was backing up their prior iCloud. So if you were to buy a new phone, you would transfer your data through your iCloud download. So it's transferring your contacts, a lot of your old media files. So I can't say for certain when this post or this image was captured originally, but due to the transfer of data on June 26th, that's why it's timestamped that way, so I can't say when it was captured.
Someone who had this device downloaded, I guess, their iCloud onto the device.
Yes.
And then, potentially, this thumbnail that you see of Julio Foolio came from that download. Potentially.
Yes.
So we don't know when this picture of Julio Foolio was actually viewed and downloaded to the device or to the iCloud.
That's fair.
You don't know if Alicia Andrews accessed this photograph.
I can say that the device she possessed, the iCloud that is downloaded onto that device and where this image came from was from her iCloud, but specifically, did she personally view it? I can't say that.
You're aware that her boyfriend used to use her phone, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And the fact that this photograph is in Alicia's phone, what relevance does that have to this case?
Well, Fat Zay to the left, he was in music videos with one of the defendants.
Oh, was he in a music video with Alicia Andrews?
No, you're just asking the significance. And then also ATK Red Dot, he just plays a role in a lot of the historical Jacksonville gang war.
All right. Do you have any communication between Red Dot and Alicia Andrews?
Not that I'm aware of.
Do you know if she even knows him?
I don't know that.
Do you know if she knows the bigger individual in the photograph, Alicia Andrews?
I don't know that.
The attorney also asked the detective about all of the weapons that were found at Sean Gathrigh's house. He highlights that Sean's mom is former military, and it's possible that some, if not all, of those weapons were hers.
Do you know if the firearms in Sean Gathrigh's house, the ones that were in the rifle, that were in the safe, do you know if those were found in his mother's room?
I was informed that the safe was his mother's room.
His mother is former military.
She is.
Were you ever able to determine what actually belonged to Sean Gathright from what belongs to his mother?
No.
So out of all the pictures, you're not able to say what actually belonged to Sean Gathright?
No.
And Alicia Andrews' home, that was never searched, correct?
Correct.
Why not?
I do not believe that probable cause ever existed to search the residence of Alicia Andrews.
All right, not even till this day.
Correct.
And then, like the previous detective, the attorney asked this detective about Aaliyah Albritton.
Do you know of a woman named Aaliyah Albritton?
Yes.
Trayvon Bullard and Quan 2 times. He dated at one point Aaliyah Albritton, correct?
I was made aware of that, yes.
All right. And Trayvon was killed. No one's been arrested, but 6 Block takes credit for the killing. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Charles Jones himself rapped about Trayvon's killing.
Yes.
And has made disrespectful music towards the death of Trayvon. Is that correct?
Yes.
You were aware that Aaliyah was with Charles Jones when he was shot and killed?
Yeah.
All right. And that was despite the fact that Aaliyah dated someone that Charles Jones rapped about killing.
Okay.
You're aware of that?
Yeah.
All right. Did you investigate Aaliyah for any potential motive for killing Charles Jones in this case?
That is a fair question. You're using the term investigating. This homicide occurred in Hillsborough County, right? So the duties of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office gang unit specifically was to assist Tampa Police Department in their investigation. At no point, were we referencing Aaliyah Albritton for an interview. So no, she was not talked to on our behalf.
Cross-examination wraps up with the attorney asking if the detective has ever come across any evidence that connects Alicia to her co-defendants outside of her former boyfriend, Isaiah Chance.
All right. In the portions that you reviewed, there's no agreement in the phone that shows Alicia Andrews agreed to kill Charles Jones?
No.
No message showing that she's involved in some conspiracy to kill Charles Jones?
No.
No indication that Alicia Andrews knew DaVon or Rashad Murphy prior to the killing of Charles Jones?
Not from her device.
And nothing in her device that would show or indicate that she had any sort of relationship with Sean Gathright prior to the murder of Charles Jones, correct?
Correct.
You listened to several jail calls in this case, right?
I spend a large amount of my time on jail calls.
How many jail calls do you think you listened to?
I would estimate 50 to 100.
All right. And you began listening to those jail calls in the early stages of the investigation, correct?
Yes, sir.
To try to figure out maybe if there's someone in jail talking about who killed Charles Jones.
Yes.
There was some evidence from the jail calls that you uncovered that made you believe that Isaiah Chance might be a suspect, correct?
Yes.
All right. But never anything in the jail calls that led you to believe that Alicia Andrews was a suspect, right?
Correct.
No mention of Alicia Andrews in any of the calls?
None.
Alicia Andrews is not a documented gang member, is that correct?
Right.
She's also not even a gang associate, correct?
Correct.
No further questions.
All right, that's day 4. So listen, I believe you can have an opinion on what happened in a case if the state has proven what they say happened in a case and what you think the verdict will or should be. And all of those answers don't have to be the same. So tell me in the comments your answer to those 3 questions. And since I'll be talking about this case on my podcast, if you want to give me your thoughts directly, you can go to speakpipe.com/ImNotALawyerBut. Tell me your answer to those 3 questions, and I'll be playing some of them on my podcast. The episode will release on Friday.